Join me in exploring Rio Bravo, the 1959 classic cowboy film starring John Wayne, Dean Martin, and Angie Dickinson. The memories of the Wild West and true friendships remain in our hearts. More than 60 years have passed, and all 34 legendary actors have passed away, each with a special story. Today, join me in remembering and reminiscing about the golden age of Hollywood. If you love classic cinema stories, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so you don't miss out on the next exciting content. Remember the young Colorado Ryan in Rio Bravo? That's Ricky Nelson, born in 1940 and only 19 years old when he starred in this classic film. Not only was Ricky an actor, but he was also a famous rock and roll star with many hits such as Poor Little Fool, which took the radio by storm in the 60s. Have you ever hummed his tunes while driving through the peaceful streets? Ricky's music has been associated with the youth of many generations. However, Ricky's life was not always full of roses. He married Kristen Harmon in 1963, a love that was praised by the press, but then broke up in 1982 due to personal difficulties and addiction problems. His music career also gradually faded, leaving him with only about $500,000 in assets at the end of his life. Sadly, in late 1985, Ricky passed away in a tragic plane crash at the age of 45. The headlines at that time still resonate in the memories of fans, mourning a young talent gone too soon. Do you still have any Ricky Nelson records in your collection? Let's remember the golden boy who breathed life into both cinema and music, so that his music will live forever in our hearts. When it comes to Rio Bravo, how can we forget John Wayne, the man who became an American icon with his role as Sheriff John T. Chance, born in 1907. At the age of 51, he portrayed a calm but decisive leader, confronting a gang of criminals. The scene of him standing tall in the middle of a dusty town must still be vivid in your mind, right? John Wayne was the embodiment of strength, the star we admired on the big screen in the 60s. But his life was not all about the spotlight. John Wayne was married 3 times, with his last wife being Pilar Palit from 1954. Rumors about his personal life, including his relationship with actress Gail Russell, used to make a lot of headlines. He fought lung cancer since the 60s, had to have a lung removed, and lived his last years in pain. His fortune is estimated at $50 million, thanks to movies and real estate investments. He passed away in 1979, at the age of 72, leaving behind an immortal cinematic legacy but also a turbulent life. Did you know that John Wayne and Dean Martin became close friends on the set of Rio Bravo? They often sat down after filming, sipping whiskey and telling stories about their early days in the profession, a simple yet sincere friendship between two legends.
Arapahoe's all right, and the same way we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm no stranger to this ordeal.
Dean Martin, born in 1917, brought to Rio Bravo an emotional dude, a former deputy sheriff battling alcoholism and a painful past. At 42, his performance not only deeply portrayed friendship but also touched the hearts of millions of viewers. Do you remember the scene where Dude trembled while holding a glass of wine, struggling to overcome the ghosts in his heart? That was the moment Dean Martin proved that he was not only a charming singer but also an excellent actor with rare emotional depth. Dean's personal life was also full of ups and downs. He married 3 times, of which his second wife, Jean Martin, was his longest-lasting love. However, his persistent alcoholism and the pain of losing his son Dean Paul in a plane crash in 1987 pushed him into a deep depression. However, a successful music and film career helped Dean build a fortune estimated at $30 million. He died in 1995, at the age of 78, of lung cancer, leaving behind a legacy of music and film, but also a sad story of personal loss and pain. Have you ever been captivated by Dean Martin's sweet and warm voice singing That's Amore on the radio in the 70s? Let's remember him, an icon of charm, talent, and resilience in both life and art.
Maybe I'd go to Disneyland
Walter Brennan, born in 1894, played Stumpy, the old, humorous but loyal deputy sheriff in Rio Bravo. At the age of 64, he brought laughter and connection to the film, making the audience extremely fond of him. Do you remember Stumpy's witty, sarcastic lines when holding a gun to protect the prison? With 3 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor in his career, Walter Brennan is truly a rare Hollywood legend. He had a lasting marriage with Ruth Wells since 1920, a love that lasted his entire life. However, in his later years, Walter suffered from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease due to his long-term smoking habit. His fortune was estimated at $10 million, a great achievement from his massive film career. Walter Brennan passed away in 1974 at the age of 80, leaving behind a huge artistic legacy, although his body was exhausted by illness. Have you ever watched The Westerner and admired the talent and charm of Walter Brennan? Let's remember him, the artist who not only created immortal roles but also symbolized loyalty and friendship in Western cinema. John Russell, born in 1921, made a deep impression in Rio Bravo as Nathan Burdett, a wealthy, scheming, and cunning rancher. At the age of 38, he brought a tense contrast to the main characters, especially in the intense confrontation scenes with John Wayne. His sharp eyes and subtle expressions as Burdett clearly demonstrated his impressive acting talent, making this character an indispensable part of the film. Compared to his film career, John Russell's private life was quite discreet. He married twice. His second wife was Linda Phillips, who was with him from 1970 until the end of his life. Although he maintained a rather quiet image, his health gradually declined due to lung cancer, the result of a long-term smoking habit. John Russell's assets are estimated at around $3 million, reflecting a solid but not too noisy career. He passed away in 1991 at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy of memorable work on both the big screen and television. Have you ever seen John Russell in 80s TV series like Lawman or General Hospital? Let's remember him, a talented artist who contributed to the fascinating stories of film and television, although his life is less known than other stars. Rio Bravo is more than just a movie, it's a part of our memories, the days when Hollywood was a glittering dream. The cast, from John Wayne to Angie Dickinson, left an indelible mark. Whose story touched you the most? Share your memories of Rio Bravo in the comments. And don't forget, if you want to continue the nostalgia journey, follow along to discover more old Hollywood stories. Thanks for reminiscing with me about those beautiful days. See you soon.